what's going on? So this is a quick crash course about stocks, ownership, and why it's important. So basically, one thing we have to get understood first is that wealth is a mindset. One of the easiest ways that I can explain wealth is thinking in terms of abundance, because wealth is one of those terms that did not just come in the 21st century. It actually came before then, and that means abundance. However, what we must understand is that we use leverage. We take our resources so that we can acquire assets or acquire capital so that we can make sure that that asset brings us money or capital brings us money. Hence, the society and the country that we live in is capitalism. All right? Now, understand the different type of business setups. We have sole proprietorships, partnerships, LLCs, and corporations. All right? Now, as it relates to stock ownership, and we're all taking advantage of the resources, we all have the wealth mindset, so the mindset will come first. Understand that corporations are owned by multiple owners, all right? Compared to an LLC, it has maybe one owner, or a partnership, multiple owners, or a sole proprietorship, one owner. However, it may be between the sole proprietorship and the LLC, it's just how you be taxed, okay? And also the level of liability. Hence the term LLC, limited liability corporation. All right. Now, as it relates to the regular corporation, there are multiple owners. How we dictate the owners is through shares. Hence, we're sharing the shares of stock. Okay. So if you're thinking like, well, if those are the owners, then should not be able to have say-so on the different decisions that need to be made with the business. That's a great question. However, we have a board of chairmen, and they make sure that the business is functioning properly. They make sure that shareholders, okay, are being looked after. And so, make sure we write some terms down. Shareholders. Okay, this mark is not working. Shareholders. That equals ownership. And so, if we're going to have that wealth mindset, we have to be owners and not workers. Okay, so stock is one of the keys. The other key is real estate and owning your own business. All right. So there are different markets. Shares they're sold on the market. The different markets that we have the NASDAQ 500, and we have the Dow 500 and the NASDAQ. Those are two places, public places, where they sell shares of stock. Okay? And so basically the shares of stock, and stick around for part 2, but basically the shares of stock dictate the value of the company. How we find out the value, of course, supply and demand, like the different prices that we see of the product that represents the company, okay? But also, every company has to have an earnings report where they talk about how the business actually did, okay? And so, based on that valuation and based on the upcoming speculation of the economy and what they're going to do with their capital, you could properly value the company. That's based on the share price. the share price. Now, when you watch like CNN or any of these channels that shows stocks, you see them at the bottom of the screen. Those are the ticker symbols of the shares. Ticker symbol. Ticker symbol is just an abbreviation of the company. All right, and it shows the price. That's the price of one share. One share. If you're thinking about, well, I hear rich. What's happening is the bigger companies, big companies, they buy thousands of shares, millions of shares. And what happens is eventually they'll sell it. Okay? So when they sell it at a profit. So if I bought a share of a company for $1, let's say there's some good news coming around in 1 quarter. Then say the valuation goes up $1. So now my $1, it just jumped, it just flipped 100%. So now let's say it's $2. So then it would behoove me to sell it. So now I made a $1 profit. As I mentioned, if you bought millions of shares, say you bought 1 million shares for $1 and it jumped to 2 million, now I made a $1 million profit. All right. The key is to stay in for the long term because the economy does change. Sometimes the buyer behavior changes. Things don't catch on in the way that you would think they would. But there's so many factors. I'm going to tell you the truth. The stock market is a game. It's not an exact science. There's more to come. Stick around for part 2 on just learning the stock market.